So, good afternoon, everybody. So nice to have you with us here. So, my name is Karen Spens, and I'm the new president of BI Norwegian Business School. First of all, I'd like to mention that one of my tasks now has been really and one of my goals here in Stavanger has been to actually meet up with our former students or our alumni who are working in and around the energy sector. And that's actually why I'm so happy to have Agnes, Arnadottir, with me, who is the co-founder of the Brim Explorer. Agnes, a warm welcome to you.
Thank you.
So, I have heard that you actually come from a family who have a long background in sustainable tourism sector in Iceland. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, of course. So my father and my uncle, they started a whale watching company in 1995. And it was the first whale watching company in Iceland. And at that time, the reactions were quite blended. Most people thought that whales were for eating and not for watching. But they proved them wrong. The first year we had 1,500 guests. And 10 years later, there were more than 70,000 visitors every summer for whale watching. So they took old fishing vessels and restored them and used them for whale watching purpose.
Wow, that's a great story, isn't it? And I know sustainability is very important for you. I guess that's one of the driving forces for you also, thinking about now actually having become the CEO of Brim. Can you talk us a bit about the issue of sustainability and why that's important for you?
Yes. Well, basically, I think it's impossible to do business without at least aiming for a sustainable model, and that is all kinds of sustainability. Environmental, financial, and social, of course. And for my own part, I grew up with the ocean. I've been very engaged in wildlife since I was young. And then I also worked in Bellona, the environmental foundation. I found it very compelling being able to actually influence people, creating awareness. And tourism is one of the fantastic sectors where you can reach out to thousands of people every year with a good message, with information, with knowledge that they can bring back home with them. Because when you're a tourist, your mind is quite open and you're very receptive to good information and inputs. So for us, it was about creating awareness, but also showcasing that technology to the rest of the world and illustrating that it is a good business model to invest in green technology. And I think we have proven that now.
Right. So I know BI has also been focusing on sustainability for a long time. But was sustainability what brought you to BI and Norway, or what brought you to BI and Norway?
Well, basically the fact that Iceland is pretty small, so I wanted something a little bit bigger. And my mother is Norwegian, so it became a natural choice after I had lived in South America for a year and in Austria as well. I took my master's at the University of Oslo, and then I took my bachelor at the University in Oslo, and then my master's at BI in political economy. And political economy because I'm engaged in society, and I found it a very interesting master, which is combining business but also business politics and with a focus on the European Union. So that was my motivation, basically.
Right. So when did you actually graduate from BI?
In 2013.
Uh-huh. And you've kept in touch with BI,
yes,
from what I've understood.
Yes, I have. And I've been also in and out a little bit working with two different professors at BI, doing some research. And I think the only thing that is a little bit shamed is that they don't have my master's anymore, because I think it was a very good master's.
Ah, yes, I've heard about that. But yeah. Right. So, well, if thinking about BI, what do you think is the kind of the biggest thing that you took with us from your studies at BI to what you're doing now?
Well, BI was very practically oriented when I went there. There was a lot of writing, both theses, but also a lot of discussions, and that is the part I liked the most in the master's program. I think my favorite part of BI was probably the sessions or the with Goodman Harness, which was very challenging because it was challenging norms, and we always had very good discussions. And I think that's kind of one of the courses that trained us in just thinking a little bit differently, that the correlation between A and B is not necessarily between A and B and so on. So a challenging but very good masters, yeah.
Right. So if you went back and did your studies again, would BI be your choice?
Yes, definitely. I also like the fact that everything was in English, and it was quite international.
So, but let's talk then a bit still about Brim Explorer. I've actually had the honor of being on the boat yesterday, and I thought that was a great experience. But can you tell us a bit more about the Brim itself and how that came up? And a bit more what the Brim does. It doesn't travel only, or it doesn't stay only here in Stavanger, does it? I mean, there are lots of places that the Brim is going to. Can you talk us a bit through that?
So usually we're not in Stavanger. We're usually up north in northern Norway, in Svalbard and Tromsø and in Lofoten. We started the company because, well, I was never going to work in tourism again, but then I got dragged into it somehow. And it was based on the fact that I saw that there was a big potential in boat tourism in Norway. Norway has the longest and probably the most beautiful coastline in the whole world.
Yeah.
And with the whale watching industry in Tromsø, me and my partner, we saw that we could, with a new vessel, with a green vessel that would be specifically designed for whale watching, we could offer the guests something new and something different. So it was the market potential that was the reason we decided to invest 50 million in first place, with a lot of friends and family and fools involved. We were 40 investors to begin with. And so we started with our own design, and we built Brim, which you visited yesterday. Then we built the Bard, the second ship for Svalbard. And now we are soon launching a third fully electric boat in Oslo in just a few weeks.
That's exciting, isn't it? About the new. What's special about, except for the electricity? Is there something else that's special about the new boat that you'd like to tell us about?
I think everyone that have been on board or have seen it, you would find it quite special.
Yeah.
My grandmother, she's 91. She says it's horrible. It doesn't look like a boat. But we find it beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's also why we decided to build all our boats with the same design. But the most challenging part was actually the design itself, to combine functionality with the aesthetics and create a platform for experiencing nature, where 150 passengers would all feel that they were sitting on the first row. That was our goal. And then we have a second goal, which is more linked to the technology, everything that is inside the hull, where our aim is to with every boat we build, we improve the technology, of course, and our aim is to standardize the electrical propulsion for this size of boats in near future. We are getting very big step further with the third boat, and we already started building the fourth vessel.
Wow.
Which will be ready in May next year, and the fifth vessel will come in January 24. So innovation is, of course, also a driving force underneath, but then we are also innovating on the needs of Brim Explorer, which is the operating company.
So let's talk a bit about the investment itself. You said already that you put in a lot, and I guess your family also put in a lot, and all your friends put in a lot. Yes. But how easy has it been now to find the investments?
The first boat was quite easy because we had a crowdfunding, and yes, they were friends and they believed in us. The second boat was a little bit more challenging, so we had to go out hunting for money. It took some months to get an investor, and now we are hopefully fully financed for a long time. We have done some changes in the ownership. So the private equity fund that invested in 2019, we now bought their share, and we got Ferd capital in on the owner side, so they have the majority with 51% today, which enables us to think long term and grow in a healthy pace.
That's good. That's great. And talking about good and great, I know that you, or I'll ask you. So what do you think about leadership? And do you have a specific philosophy or some thoughts that you'd like to share with us about that?
To start with the philosophy, I don't have a specific philosophy, other than I believe it's important to lead with a good example. And I think it's important to allow yourself to reflect over yourself as a leader and allow yourself to grow. No one is a flawless leader in the beginning, I hope, at least. And it comes with experience.
So, you know, I'm actually a logistics professor myself, and I remember going to one of the first logistics conferences when I was younger, and I was probably among 300 people, you know, the fifth female one. So what do you think about your industry that you're in, because it's quite male-dominated, and how do you think about leadership, you know, being kind of a different type of leader in that sense? Or does it make any difference?
It probably does.
Yeah.
I think when we were raising money, I realized that at least parts of the industry, it's not very common to have a female CEO. And many of my older crew members have not had a female boss before. But I also experienced that, it has mostly been a positive experience, to be honest. And I'm not sure if it's more or less challenging than it would have been, but it's definitely, you definitely get a different kind of attention, I have to say. And then again, my focus areas as a leader is also on ability to have a healthy work-life balance and maybe some more soft values, which I think everyone in the end appreciates.
So I guess you are kind of a role model also, and that's what you're saying. Your leadership is also about being a role model to others. And I know you're combining, in fact, family and being a leader at a very, or can you maybe talk us through a bit about that? How do you actually then balance that? Because it's not that easy, having a family and raising a family, and at the same time being the CEO of such a great company. Maybe
it's a balance that is never complete. Kind of, you're always balancing. So there's no like fine line and nothing that is kind of settled. For my part, it's important to accept that things go in periods as well. It's more challenging with a 1-year-old than a 5-year-old, definitely, and now soon 2 and not 1.
Yeah, congratulations.
But in the end, it's both leadership and motherhood and everything is also about not being too harsh on yourself. That perfection is not necessarily the goal. It's the focus on the right things and the priorities on each field that are the key.
Right.
It sounds easy, it's not, but at least it's some kind of guideline.
Yeah. So let's talk a bit about, you know, and you've already said also that as a BI alumni, you like to give back to the school, and you're giving back your time, valuable time, and working with professors. But can you talk us a bit about through what do you think about giving back? I know, you know, that, for example, in Finland, we've actually had 3 quite large fundraisings because university funding is going down. So, you know, our alumni were really eager to chip in and help out. What do you think about, first of all, you know, alumni giving back and being part of that? And what do you think about fundraising for the universities?
It's a big question. I haven't really thought about it too much. I guess that alumni, well, they became a very big group after some years, and I'm positive to fundraising. But I also think that there are very many ways of contributing, and I have had a couple of guest lectures in the entrepreneurship studies, the bachelor at the BI. At the moment, I feel that my most valuable contribution would probably be to talk to the students and share my experiences, because it's when you're a student, you are very keen on hearing how the real world is, and it's definitely not as you think it is. so getting some proper perspectives in is good.
So thinking about the students, can you, maybe we'll go back a bit still about thinking about your time as a student still. You said that you would choose BI again, but what would be kind of like the most important thing that you could share with others now, thinking about maybe becoming a student at BI or wanting to be a student at BI? Why would you choose BI again?
I would choose it again because of the environment, about the fact that we had everything in English was a very good preparation for work life, and the international environment. We were 25 in the class, and I think we were at least 10 nationalities. Also very valuable, both as for the friendship's sake, but also for the networking. And I liked the focus you had on different aspects. So it was kind of a broad master's I took, which I really much appreciated. I think BI has good partners also in the commercial world, and I think having access to different companies, having access to what do you call it, when students get to work,
the internships?
The internships, for instance. And we have had worked with a team at BI and had three students actually helping us with some research on innovation and technology, which is very valuable for us as a company, but also a very good experience for the students. So all interaction between students and the corporate world is valuable for all parts.
Internships are definitely one of the important things, I think, for students. Another thing that I've been talking about a lot myself is actually the students going on exchange to other countries. Yeah. Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
You did? Where did you go?
I went to Vienna, to Austria.
Right.
To the Wirtschaftsuniversität, and it was also fantastic. And I would recommend everyone to go out abroad.
That's one of the things I've said, when I talk to former students, they say that, they love going on exchange. But the other good thing is actually also that coming back is also great, because then you realize that, okay, this was actually, great. But now I'm happy to be back because I'm actually at a very good school and I like doing that.
Yeah.
So that's probably... So what would be the biggest thing that you brought with you from your exchange, other than just going to Vienna?
New friends.
New friends.
And very business-oriented courses. We had a lot of interactions with companies and made many case studies. So it was useful. It was not a lazy semester abroad. It was a lot of work and a lot of fun at the same time.
Absolutely. So one of the things I've actually heard a lot of good things, of course, about Stavanger and the Norway, but being new here, are there any really good tips for me to do, or what should I experience now, having done a bit of the same thing that you did, coming over from Finland though, but you came over from Iceland? What do I need to do, and what do I need to see, or in Norway overall?
In Norway, you have to go to northern Norway.
Okay.
You should definitely go to Svalbard as well. The wildlife there is unique, and northern Norway in the wintertime. Whale watching, of course, it's a must do.
That's absolutely a must.
And enjoying living in Oslo, which is a fantastic city. Getting, of course, a pair of cross-country skis if you don't have them. And if you don't know how to use them, you should go on a course.
I should definitely do that. That sounds like a very good idea.
And then you can take a sauna afterwards.
The sauna, yes, absolutely. I've heard there are great saunas actually outside of Oslo on the floating docks. I look forward to doing that. Thank you so much, Agnes, for this really, really nice discussion with you.
Thank you too.
And then I think we are ending up here. I'm very happy, as said, to meet up with the alumni at BI, and I was really happy to talk to you, Agnes, and good luck with all the new boats that you have coming up and with the family.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thank you.